This video is brought to you by Loot Crate. Head today to lootcrate.com/reviewtechusa and enter the code RTU to save 10% on any subscription plan. Skip it up and that up. So Nintendo has filed a patent to allow Game Boy and Game Boy Advanced emulation on iOS and Android hardware, or technically other hardware. NeoGAF user Rosty spotted this patent by Nintendo, which was originally filed back in July this year, making a lot of people wonder what the hell Nintendo was up to. This is part of what Nintendo's patent says. A low capability platform, e.g. a seat back display or a personal digital assistant, may not have enough processing power to readily provide acceptable speed performance. Unless the software emulator is carefully designed and carefully optimized, it will not be able to maintain real-time speed performance when running on a slower or less highly capable processor. So a lot of you may be thinking, and understandably so, that Nintendo finally concedes. They're finally going to make games for the iOS and Android. They're going to bring their old game, they're going to make their own emulator and bring their games over to Android and iOS so they can make money that way. But if you really think about that, that doesn't make too much sense, okay? They make a killing selling old games from their older platforms on both the Wii U and 3DS from the eShop. Why would they do a cannibalistic business move by selling to competing platforms? Because they are competing platforms like Android and iOS. Here is what I'm thinking, and this makes a lot more sense, and even IGN said this too as well, and other websites said it. They're making an emulator to stop other emulators from coming out and be able to slam lawsuits on other emulators that are already on the market. Because Nintendo does make a lot of money from the eShop selling those old games that these emulators run. So basically what they're doing, I don't think they're coming out with an emulator for Android or iOS. I could be wrong. Maybe they'll shock the shit out of me and do come out with an emulator for the mobile platforms. But what I have a feeling what they're really trying to do is nip the whole emulation, Android and iOS emulation Nintendo thing in the bud before it gets even bigger than it already is, because it's already ginormous now. I mean, Ouya has emulators, and I know there's emulators. You could actually buy emulators on the Google Play Store for Nintendo platforms. Like, you have to pay for them to use them for you guys who don't use smartphones, which is probably like 3 of you. So I think what they're doing is they're coming out with their own quote-unquote emulator that you're not be able to get your hands on. So if other companies do come out with emulators, they could go after them legally. I really think that's all it is. If they do come out with an emulator, I will literally crap my pants and be shocked. Hey, you never know. This industry has surprised me before, but I really think that's honestly what's going on. They're just trying to have their own code out there so they could go after other companies making emulators legally. That's it, nothing more. All right, folks, this is Rich of Review Tech USA. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Have a good one.